Have you ever thought about credit counseling? Welcome to Your Clear Thinking. I'm Roderick Mitchell, author of Credit Straight Talk, Clarity on the Conspiracy. This episode is part of a series designed to help you build a solid credit foundation. I'm going to talk to you about credit counseling. Credit counseling is done predominantly in the United States society after you have significant credit problems in obtaining credit or has filed some level of bankruptcy. Understanding and learning about your credit for it to be advantageous to you is not in the interest of banks or financial institutions. The banks and financial institutions would rather that you have damaged credit because it increases their profits for the long term. The exact same purchases by a consumer with good credit rating versus a consumer with a bad or damaged credit rating increase the profit margin for banks and financial institutions by tens of billions of dollars annually. The consumer credit industry does not want you to have a good, thorough knowledge of credit. If you examine the consumer credit industry, it has similarities of a conspiracy of a kind to keep society in a permanent cycle of bad credit to generate high profits. All of the information in reference to credit is difficult and intentionally unclear to prevent the thorough understanding of how the system is meant to function. The writings on consumer credit are filled with unclear meaning and unrealistic explanations on what should be done by the individual to obtain and maintain their credit in good standing. The importance of credit to everyday life should be taught to students in high school through several courses to ensure a complete understanding of it. Consumer credit courses should be mandatory in all public school systems nationwide, even if it means removing courses of study that students do not use past their high school time. Consumer credit is so important that it dictates your place in society. Credit counseling after the credit is damaged or bad is not as beneficial as it should be, because after credit counseling, the credit is still bad for the same length of time it was if you didn't have the credit counseling at all. The damage is already done. If credit counseling completion allowed for a reduction in penalties against you, it would help you from repeating the same mistakes, and it would have a greater meaning. Credit counseling itself is not a complimentary service. You pay a top price for the instruction received. The credit counseling industry works in partnership with the consumer credit industry as another way to increase profits, because the credit counseling is usually sponsored by the consumer credit industry. Teaching you about credit before there's a need or use for that credit makes sense, because if you have a solid understanding and foundation of credit, there are fewer chances of later mistakes. Credit counseling can provide a solid foundation for future credit wellness for you and provide a clear understanding of the do's and don'ts necessary. Completion of a good credit counseling will instruct you on what is considered bad debt and good debt. It will provide a strategy for cleaning up and managing past mistakes through credit repair or certain forms of credit consolidation programs. The counseling will reinforce the need for a realistic personal budget with saving and spending direction and with goals to pursue. As you begin reaching the set goals, you will build self-confidence and the momentum needed to achieve the financial freedom that you are pursuing. In this episode, I talk to you about credit counseling and some things to consider before making those decisions. Remember to subscribe below and select the playlist to enjoy this entire series. I'm Roderick Mitchell, the author of Credit Straight Talk, Clarity on the Conspiracy. Visit my site, yourclearthinking.com, and remember, together we ride.